People are very interested about how we've had a baby. People are very interested. People ask questions. I think that's rude. There'll be people in this room, gay, straight, somewhere in between, similar to Alice and I, might not have had a plain sailing to becoming a parent. You know, ups and downs. It can be really, really tough. It can be really sad. It can be very, very stressful. And I think it's very rude when people that don't know you come up and just ask you. I don't think it's happening to my straight friends. I don't think they're wandering down the street with a baby in the pram and a stranger comes up to them and goes, how'd you do this from behind? But for some unknown reason, people seem to think it's okay to ask us. We're in a posh cafe in South East London. The kind of place where you can get a couple of coffees and a bit of cake for about £4 grand. Right, one of them. We're queuing, okay, me and my wife and our little girl. And there's a lady behind us who is smiling at us in a way to let us know that she is totally fine about gay people having kids. She's a liberal Linda. She doesn't mind it one bit, okay? She's just smiling at us like this. Eventually she goes, your baby's lovely. That's a nice thing to say. I said, thank you very much. We go and sit down. For some unknown reason, she comes and joins us. Okay? And it's not like a long table. It is a 4-seater, and she has just taken the 4th seat. And she's smiling at us and nodding. And eventually she goes, my cousin's gay. So, oh, we don't all know each other. Quite a lot of us these days. She goes, he doesn't have a baby, but he does have a labradoodle. It's like, that's not the same, but cool. And starts asking us all these questions. So how did you do maternity? And I was like, oh, well, Alice had a year off and I'm freelance, so I just took off as much time as I wanted. She's like, oh, great. Really, really good, really good. And you know, at home, you know, is one of you stricter? You know, does one of you have to do all the dad stuff? I was like, oh, yeah, I know. I was like, I don't know what that means. I said, you know, we just try our best all of the time. We hope that she's a happy little girl in the world. And she goes, oh, no, I totally agree. Just so you know, I totally agree. And then she gets to what she really wants to ask. She goes, I hope you don't mind me asking. And I thought, I bet I fucking will. She goes, my friend Philippa's thinking about having a baby by herself. And she's thinking about using a sperm bank in Denmark. And your daughter is so lovely. I was just wondering, did you use the sperm bank in Denmark? Then she stopped. So I can only assume what happened. Her brain and her mouth got into sync. And she had a moment of clarity. She realised she had wandered up to a couple of lezers with a baby in a nice cafe in South East London and has basically gone, Bab, where'd you get the jizz? She realised what she was doing. And then, and I've only seen very posh people do this, she started to rewind in real time. She started going, you allowed to ask, you allowed to ask, questions anymore. You're going to get in trouble for asking questions. I was just wondering, is it going to ask? I was just wondering, is it going to ask? I was just wondering, where did you get the sperm? I thought, how dare you? How dare you think that I have to validate my family to you? How dare you? Just because you're a gay cousin with a labradoodle, it's 2024. We've all got a gay cousin with a labradoodle. Except for me, I've actually got a straight cousin with a gay labradoodle, but I haven't got time for that story tonight. So when she said to me, where did you get the sperm? It was so early and I was so cross that I just went, your husband. Long story short, we've had to move. We moved to Brighton, there's a lot of my lot down there. Yeah, hit 35, have a baby, get a dry robe, run into the sea once a week to feel something. That's me. There's still idiots. Still bump into idiots wherever you are, don't you? We were at a children's birthday party a little while ago. We were the only gay family there, and I was chatting to this dad, and he was a real geezer dad. Real fucking geezer dad. And had a little boy that was real fucking geezer as well, right? Now, I've got a soft spot for a geezer dad. I love a geezer dad because I've got a geezer dad. My dad's a real blokey bloke. My dad's the kind of man that can only write in capital letters, you know them? Means no matter what he writes, it looks aggressive. Just like, happy birthday, love dad! No. In crayon, that's my dad, right? And I've got to be very careful with this bit. I've got to be very, very careful because I don't want anyone in the room to think I'm having a go, okay? I want the straight people in the room to know that you are very, very welcome here, okay? I think that what you do is amazing. I think you should be exactly who you are. I think love is love. I think love is love. I think whoever you want to be with, you should be with. I think in the privacy of your own home, because I don't want to see it, I don't want to fucking see it. And I love straight culture, straight mates, I love your culture. Yum, 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 yum. I love your culture. White bread, trainer socks, see Mr. Brightside at karaoke. I love it. I love it. So I'm not knocking the straight people. At the show in Manchester, a man walked out after that bit. Fragile masculinity. But he points to my little girl, this geezer dad points to my little girl and goes, reckon she'll be gay? I said, I don't know, she's 3. He went, 'cause of you. Like, yeah, I got why you were asking. I didn't think you'd come to a toddler's party to try and out 3-year-olds. So on the crafting table, is he? Bender? Like, I'm going to assume that's not happening. Now, the working class part of me, when someone says something like that, I want to have a row. I want to have a row. But I've become middle class now, so I can't do that. So in those scenarios, I find the best thing to do is tell him a lie, make him look stupid at a future date. So I told him that she wouldn't be gay, because it's like twins and it skips a generation. And he believed me. So it's a win for me. Now, I asked before if people have children. Give me a cheer, anyone with a toddler? Oh, there's quite a few of us tonight. How you doing? That told us everything, didn't it? That told us everything. My daughter is now 3 and everyone refers to her as the baby. The baby. The baby. Because the last baby in the family was me. So everyone is delighted there's a new baby. But I love it because it sort of makes her sound like she's a gangster. Like, watch out, the baby's coming, look busy, fucking hell, the baby's coming, look busy. When we first moved down to Brighton, it was in the summer last year, and we bought a little paddling pool to put in our garden. We've only got a little garden. We put the paddling pool out there, and it took up most of it. And she spent the whole day just walking around it. She didn't want to get in it, just wanted to walk around it, like, yeah, that's my fucking pool. Just walking around it. And all she would wear was a little pair of red knickers. She had a little chubby belly, and her hair slicked back with sweat. She looked like Ray Winston in Sexy Beast. When we first moved there, she was 2. Anyone got a 2-year-old? Yeah, hello, how are you? Tired. Yeah, tired, babe. Oh, I know, I feel it. And now, is your 2-year-old, are they currently very into sort of touching everything, putting everything in their mouth? Yeah, see, when we moved to Brighton, that was where we were. They go through this stage where they're just putting everything in their mouth, touching everything. So we had to baby-proof the house. Okay, so we had to put them things in the plugs. We had to put this thing in the drawer, which meant I couldn't open the drawer. She's like, Alice, I need a fork. Don't worry, I'll use my hands. We made most of the house baby-proof, but there's some things you can't baby-proof. We learnt this. We're in the lounge. Our cat comes in. Yes, I've got a cat. Kelsa Priest. And our cat did one of those massive cat stretches. You know, one of those ones? And right at the end, she put her tail up like that. And at that moment, the baby spied the cat's arsehole. And let me tell you, she was utterly fascinated by it. She'd never seen one before. It is something to say. It's just sort of moving and flinching, which meant most days were spent with me, following little Ray Winston, following the cat, while I go, don't touch his bum! Don't touch the cat's bum! Do not touch the cat's bum! While she went, bam bam, no touch! Bam bam, no touch! Bam bam, no touch! I don't know why she had that accent. We didn't teach it, we didn't encourage it, but for about 2 months she sounded Italian. We didn't know why. Bam bam, not touch. That's right. Don't touch the cat's bum. Bin, not touch. That's right. Don't touch the bin. It's a stinky bin, you don't touch the bin. That's right. There's one other thing she wasn't allowed to touch. She would call it the little buttons. It is the little buttons, the little buttons. It was the 3 buttons on top of the skybox. I would say to her, don't touch the little buttons. Me, not touch, little buttons. That's right. Because if you touch the little buttons, there'll be no Gruffalo. Touch little buttons, Gruffalo, he gone. That's right. Don't, no. Please, niente, no, nada. And then I left the room. But because she was 2, she had no impulse control. So she was like, I gotta touch those little buttons. I tell you, I have to touch the little buttons. She touched little buttons, fucked up the skybox. Next thing that happened, I'm not proud of this, but this is the truth. I think part of being a stand-up is me telling you the truth of what happened. She fucked up the skybox, and I had to bring a man to fix it. I'm not happy about that as a feminist. I didn't ask for them to send a fella, but they sent a fella, and fair play to him, he did fix it. Okay. He knocked on the door, she let him in. Why wouldn't she? She owns the place. Just, come, mama, make him a cup of tea. He's got heavy bag, big boots. Is this offensive? I can't work it out. So... we've got a TV cabinet, right? And he gets in our TV cabinet, he's pulling things out, pushing things in, playing with the remote, pulling things out, pushing things in. She's just watching. Threatening. And after a little while, she thinks, yeah, sod it, I'll get in as well. So she gets in with him. He does not realise this. And then she gets closer and closer and closer to him until she whispers in his ear, bam, bam, not that. It made him jump. I then had a stranger running towards me going, I wasn't trying to touch a kid's ass. To which I had to go, oh, don't worry, that's just something she says. She's obsessed with our cat's ring piece. Basically, I'm now worried I'm doing bad PR for gay mums. It's a fear. It's a fear. But we're at the tantrum stage. At the minute, that's what we're in. We're in the tantrum stage. We're in the thick of it. She's got a lot of feelings. She's got a lot of feelings. She's got a lot of emotions. She's very angry about a lot of things. A lot of it's shit. She gets angry, she gets furious, and she really knows her own mind. I wanted a feminist, but not this young, okay? She really knows her own mind. But before I tell you about her tantrums, I do need to say one thing, okay? When I realised I was gay, when I was sure of it, I was probably about 14. And when I realised, I sort of thought, I guess being a mum is something that I can't do. Now, it's worth pointing out, there were people being mums, absolutely, and dads being dads, but it wasn't celebrated, it certainly wasn't in the media, it wasn't on TV, so I didn't know that I could be a mum. I didn't know that it was possible for me to be out and be a mum. So the fact that she is my daughter is the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. The fact that I get to be her mum has been sort of a surprise, and it is the most wonderful thing in my life. I love her more than I knew I could love another person. She has enriched my life beyond belief. Not financially, she's a fucking drain, but... you need to know that before I tell you about what she's having a nightmare about at the moment. Right, I've made a little list. This is just in the last week to share with you tonight. Okay, here's the reasons that she's had tantrums just in the last few days. I wouldn't let her lick bird poo. I didn't have Moana's phone number. I wouldn't let her take the frying pan to nursery. The waffle was too hot. 10 minutes later, the same waffle, too cold. And I wouldn't let her put the cat in the oven, okay? Here's the thing, I will be honest with you, parenting is harder than I thought it would be. That's the truth, it is harder than I thought it would be. Okay, and I've done hard stuff. I once had to mime that I had cystitis in a pharmacy in Calcutta, okay? I've experienced, I got some tablets, you've got to travel. But, I feel like I've told you too much. She had a really big tantrum the other day. We were in a Robert Dyer's, okay? We're in a Robert Dyer's and we're queuing up, right? About a month before Christmas, we're queuing up. She sees something at the till point. They got all the bits they're flogging at the till point. And she points at it and goes, I want that! And I said, no, darling, you're not having it. She goes, I want it! I said, no, darling, you're not having it. It's not Christmas yet, it's not your birthday, you're not having it. She goes, I want it, I want it, I want it! It was an air fryer. Like, she's 3, but she's right on the zeitgeist, you know? She knows what's on trend. But you've got to stay firm. You can't give in to them, you know? So I said to her, look, darling, you're not having it, okay? You're not having it, it's not happening. Throws herself on the floor in a shop. Everyone's looking, I want it, I want it, I want it! Now, in those scenarios, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to gently parent them out of their tantrum. Just gently parent them out of their tantrum. So I had a little go at gently parenting her out of her tantrum. Darling, I know that you feel like this, and I love you so much. It doesn't matter how much you scream and shout. I love you to bits. I will always love you. It doesn't matter how angry you get, but you are not having that today. You're not having it, but I do love you. Mama loves you so much. Mummy loves you so much. You are so loved, but you can't just scream and get what you want. That's not how it works. Obviously, I don't want to do that. I want to go, get up, making me like a fucking prick. But you can't do that, because that's not gentle parenting. You can't do that. You certainly can't do that in a Robert Dyers in Hove. In a B&Q in Portsmouth, you'd get away with it, but in a Robert Dyers in Hove, absolutely not. The next thing you're supposed to do, you're meant to get on their level. So I did it. I said, I wasn't wearing these boots. I said to her, try a new tact, right? If you can tell me what it is, you can have it. She said, I don't know what it is, but I want it! And I relate to that. It's how I feel every time I'm in an Urban Outfitters. Is it a hat? Is it a cardigan? Do you put a plant in it and hang it from the ceiling? Fuck it, I'll have 4. There's things that have come up for me that I wasn't expecting in parenting. Things that I find hard, things that I find harder. I'm severely dyslexic, and I think my dyslexia has got worse. My partner Alice hasn't been the biggest support. No. My wife has started spelling to me what we're doing with our afternoon. Even though she knows how bad my dyslexia is. She'll be like, oh, after our NAP, we'll go to the PARK. I'm like, I ain't got a fucking clue, let's go, Vorderman. Before Christmas, Alice told me a few things to go and get her. A few days before Christmas, a few things to get her to put in her stocking. As I was leaving, she spelt Elsa doll. She did not get an Elsa doll, she got an easel. Now, I am well aware that sounds like a gag that I've written. I know there'll be people here going, you're a super, they swap the letters around to prove you're dyslexic. I want you all to know that is a genuine row between me and my wife that happened on the 23rd of December, and I've decided that by talking about it on stage, I have made the easel tax deductible. Pretty clever. We had our first family holiday this year, and I'm very, very lucky to have had a family holiday. Not a fucking holiday though, is it? Oh, she was livid the whole time. Not with my wife, just with me. Absolutely furious the whole time. I was doing everything wrong. She had a lot of feedback, constant reviews. It's like I was at the Edinburgh Festival. It was awful. See, I did everything wrong. You're cutting up my dinner wrong. You're putting on my cosy wrong. You're doing my hair wrong. I thought, fucking hell, you got a lot of confidence for someone that can't wipe their own arse, haven't you? She's only happy for 1 hour every day, and that's because there was a disco between 6 and 7. Every day she was there, 5 to 6, like, let's go, let's have some music, let's get the big tunes on, let's have it large. She'd be there just, oh, Baby Shark, yeah, fucking love this one. She looked like she was on day 13 of Glastonbury, having the time of her life. I started calling out Arsey Bustle, she hated that. I had no idea how hard it would be. I took 3 books and a chess set. And I can't play chess. I thought I'd have such an abundance of time that I would be able to learn how to play chess. At one point I said to her, you do realise this is Mama's holiday as well? She went, is it? I thought, no. It's not. One night I lay there, Alice one side, she was the other. I Googled, what age do they get empathy? Not quick enough to save the holiday, that's what I learned. I'll tell you, the main thing we were missing was my mum. My mum is an incredible nan, and she loves being a nan, and she's brilliant with kids. Oh, I will just tell you this. Mum rang me today about my show. She went, oh, Suze, have a good one tonight. You break a neck. What? I'm sorry, what? How many does this woman think I have? But she... I went, do you mean legs? She went, yeah. Oh, it didn't make me laugh. But she is an amazing nanny, and she didn't work when I was a kid, so she was a stay-at-home mum. That's a new anxiety, you know. Oh God, should I be a stay-at-home mum? I think I'll kill myself. I'll be so bored. But mum's amazing. She's amazing, And my daughter thinks Nanny's better at playing. My mum's amazing at playing. They create these little words together. And she'll be like, oh, Nanny's better at doing this. Nanny's better at doing shops. Like, yeah, of course Nanny's better at doing shops. It's the only shift she's got this week. You know, she's there, she's got a pair of glasses, a little handbag. It's like Daniel Day-Lewis is in the room. It's fucking incredible. Full method. She's been nominated for a BAFTA. We're very proud. We're very, very proud. When we knew she was on her way, we started reading the parenting books. And one of the parenting books, it said, before beginning your parenting journey, that's how I read it. Before beginning your parenting journey, it's great to think about your parents' parenting style. It's like, I was born in the 80s, raised in the 90s. My parents' parenting style was love it, feed it, and if you're going to have a fag, open the window. That was their style. Been trying to work out what my geezer dad's parenting style is. I've worked out it's jokes and bollocking. A little joke, a little bit of bollocking. When I was 10, he dared me to eat a teaspoon of Coleman's mustard. You know the radioactive yellow stuff? I love a dare, popped it in my trap, it burnt like fuck, I cried, him and Mum had a row, he bollocked me. Mum's parenting style's the opposite. She was on me. She was doing everything with me when I was a kid. And I'm lucky for that. I'm not knocking that. She was the mum that would always come on the school trips. Even when she wasn't that interested, she'd come. The first one she came on was, we were in sort of maybe year 1, and we went to a place called Fishbourne Roman Palace. Yeah, a few people have been. It's a load of Roman stuff. Load of Roman stuff. Mosaics and that. I mean, it'd been nice if they'd finished them. But here we are. And the lady that was taking us around, and looking back now as an adult, I can see this lady was probably a volunteer. She was there out of the goodness of her heart, you know, amazing. She was showing us around, and she loved the Romans. She loved the Romans. She was gay for the Romans. She loved them Romans. And she was taking us around trying to impart her love of the Romans onto us. She was going, children, do you realise, children, how old these mosaics are? Do you realise how old these mosaics are? And we were all like, no. I'm 6. I ain't really got time yet. They just would have taken us to a Topps Tiles. Been like, these tiles were made a year ago. We were like, I was 5 then. And a boy in my class, that very childlike thing, going, oh, Mrs. is boring, Mrs. is so boring, this is so boring, miss. And the teacher, if there's any teachers in, you'll have pretended to be interested about something you're not. She had to go, well, I think it's very interesting, actually. I think it's very, very interesting. And then turned to my mum and went, Mrs. Ruffell, you think it's interesting, don't you? And my mum went, no, I think it's quite boring. So I don't know what her parenting style is. My dad would do anything for that kid. He's so thrilled to be a granddad. He'd do anything. He would do anything for that baby. As long as it doesn't require turning off the telly, he'll do anything. They watch TV together. Most kids' favourite shows would be like Bluey, Mr. Tumble, Bing. Her favourite show, Ice Road Truckers. She's like, Grandpa, I'm not sure it's going to make it around the corner. What do you think? It's got this heavy load. Is it going to make it? I'm not sure. Is it offensive? Still don't know. He doesn't watch appropriate programmes for a child, though. He doesn't. It's not porn, but he doesn't watch appropriate programmes. His favourite channel is a channel called Crime and Investigation. Yeah, some fans in. It's the murder channel. It's the murder channel. Murder, 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 every day. That's the schedule, every single day. Murder, 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 murder. The vehicles of the Nazis. Murder, 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 every single day. And I say to him, Dad, you can't watch that when she's here. He goes, oh, don't be daft. I said, Dad, you can't. They've got one show called I Married My Murderer. That can't be a first-hand account, can it? So you can't watch it when she's here. He goes, don't be daft. I said, she might hear something, she might see something, it might frighten her, please. Even in the background, don't have it on when she's here. His response, don't worry, Suze, it's not like they're ever positive about the killers. Well, that wasn't my concern. I don't think you were watching a show called He Had a Point. Like,